Well, it's a great pleasure to support the Shush campaign. I, like many people, came here to work, fell in love with the place, stayed. To paraphrase Julius Caesar, I came, I saw, and was conquered. And I think, like many others, I'm not too sure I want to let people in to this secret, but I know I must, because the problem here isn't in training people to come into the NHS, local authorities, the fire service, ambulance service, etc. It's to attract those jobs where the key issue is the experience of the individual, where you're competing with Manchester and Birmingham and Leeds, and to keep our public services good, and in this part of the world they're brilliant, this campaign is very necessary. I came to this city with a book, the collected poems of Philip Larkin. I was a big Larkin fan, and I soon realised the association between Larkin and this campaign, because in 1955 the university had a problem in recruiting a head librarian, and Coventry-born Philip Larkin came to fill the position and became a famous poet in his 30 years in this city. And I soon found that many of his poems that I'd read but not realised were about Hull. Obviously Friday Night at the Station Hotel, but Afternoons is about Pearson Park, and the broadcast is about a concert at the City Hall. And the building, and I hope Chris Long realises this, is about Hull Royal Infirmary, higher than the handsomest hotel, said Philip Larkin in the first line. So actually there's a travel guide to Hull if you read Larkin. But imagine how bereft we would be if Hull hadn't attracted Philip Larkin to fill that post at the university. And I've got a funny feeling Larkin's going to be a big part of this campaign. I'm the vice president for My Sins of the Larkin Society. It's amazing how many people know about Hull through Larkin, but wouldn't particularly come here because you don't pass through. You have to make an effort to come to this part of the world. But Larkin will be an attraction here, as it was for City of Culture. And let me say this, I've been involved in quite a number of campaigns similar to this over the last 20 years, trying to fight against the negative image of Hull that is so misrepresentative, criminally misrepresentative over the years. It's different now because we're building on some very solid foundations. I just want to mention two of them. When Hull became City of Culture in 2017, it beat 14 other cities. And it beat them not because of the amazing cultural history of this place. Andrew Marvell, Stevie Smith, the House Martins, Hull Truck, a Lorenzetti in the Ferrens Art Gallery, by the way. Not just because of that, it's the way they put that cultural history into the relevance of Hull for the future. And this is all about the future. So when we won, we introduced so many people to this part of the world. 314,000 people in the first 2 weeks of City of Culture. Many of them were local people, of course, enjoying this experience, but so many came and experienced Hull for the first time. And that's an important foundation for this campaign. Perhaps even more important is Siemens. So Siemens were looking at 104 different locations in Northern Europe as to where to put their biggest single global investment in the manufacture of huge wind turbines to send out into the North Sea. Our competitors were Esbjerg and Bremerhaven, our main competitors. Hull won that. Siemens came. They saw that they were conquered, to the extent that, I spoke to a senior Siemens executive a few weeks ago who loves the place, told me his daughter was coming here to work after leaving university. And Siemens came to manufacture wind turbines. Now they're coming back to build trains in Goole, a £200 million investment. And they're going to build an innovation hub next door to it. Success breeds success. And when I talked to this senior executive from Siemens, who loves the place, he was telling me how much the people who come here, the senior Siemens executives who have moved to this area, love Flamborough Head, how much they love Spurn Point, how much they love Blacktop Sands, how much they love Beverley. Beverley was never part of my constituency, and I struggled to explain the connection between the town of Beverley and Beverly Hills. But there is a connection, but not the same weather, I'm afraid. And he was also saying how much they appreciate the university, the Ron Deering UTC, our schools, our colleges. They're at a very high standard, much higher standard incidentally than they were where the university's always been, but our schools struggled for a bit. Now, amazing results in this area. So I think Siemens should be a kind of lodestar. And just say a word about health, because I'm still involved with health as the chair of City Care and Shared Agenda Solutions. So we were involved, for instance, in the ICC, the Integrated Care Centre, which you saw briefly in one of those films, the Jean Bishop Integrated Care Centre. A first in this country. People come from all over to see how we did it. And thanks to the generosity of Asema Lamb, and the absolute determination of Nick Stafford and his Daisy appeal, we've got some of the best facilities, some of the best equipment in the country. Hull York Medical School is expanding. And I want to say another word, just to spare the blushes of the people you saw in that film. We've got great leadership here in Chris Long, in Emma Latimer, in Michelle Moran, in all the major NHS trusts. In Yorkshire Ambulance Service, we've got great leadership. So come and work here and work for inspiring leaders. Last thing I want to say is this. Remember the name of Matthew Barzun, B-A-R-Z-U-N. Forgotten who he is? I'll tell you who he is. He was the United States ambassador to the United Kingdom. And in 2016, when his tour of duty ended, they asked him, which of the 125 cities you visited is your favourite? Without hesitation, he said, Hull. We should get Matthew Barzun as the kind of patron of this campaign. Thank you very much.